stake through her heart and garlic around her neck to make sure she never come back.
Oh
my
All right.
God.
All right, we're back. We're back. It's been an entire solar revolution since last
At least, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. It's been exactly. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the last 3 releases have been on this exact day. Which, I mean, there's been some pretty exciting things going on. September.
Oh, I was about to say it feels like nothing's happened, but
I got coronavirus like a month ago.
that is something. That is something.
I feel like when people look back and they look at 2022, they're gonna go, "Yeah, it was basically over." But
I don't think people are really going to look back at it much. Like, how often do we think of 2008, year of the financial crisis?
constantly, it is constantly going on a loop in my brain. I'm thinking about all the housing market and Goldman Sachs. It never stops. So maybe I'm a bad example.
I've got sex on the brain. Yeah, I think you're I think you're in one of the far-reaching divisions.
The bell curve.
Yeah, can't remember the word for it. But yeah, honestly, it's been an uneventful year for me. I've just been sort of in a transitionary period between school and then the rest of my life.
Yeah. So you're getting one last credit.
Yeah.
And you'll be in the workforce.
I'll be handed my piece of paper and I'll get to become something. I don't know. Working in production would be nice, but unfortunately, here in Canada and the West in general, we don't make things anymore. Kind of just
production
buy
is
things.
Moved.
Yeah.
Outsourced.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Chase? What are you going to be when you grow up?
Ooh, I don't know yet. Maybe an astronaut.
Okay.
Maybe a fireman.
Okay.
A doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I'm surviving. I'm in the green usually.
I find these days I'm in the gray. Or actually, what's between green and red?
Yeah, on the hex chart. What?
Kind of yellowish.
Green, between green and red. Yeah, orange. Yellow and orange.
Yeah, I'm in the orange.
Okay. That doesn't make any sense. So you're fine. You're staying stable. I mean, that's good. That's what you want.
It's fine, but the problem is life. There's entropy, so everything around me is constantly decaying, my body included. Although for men, I think it's until 30, and you stop growing. But
you lose muscle mass every year.
Yeah, but all it takes is my car to break down, me to get in an accident, and break a leg or something, and suddenly I'm in the red.
I mean, if Cro-Magnon versions of us, we totally would have fucked by now. So our bodies can just die. There's no reason for us to be alive anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it is pretty crazy that why the fuck does a turtle need to live that long? Of all animals, why are they the ones?
What is he accomplishing?
There are slower animals than that live a year. Wow.
Although now that I think about it, the less you do, the more nature would probably allow you to stay around, right?
How long do sloths live?
That's a good question.
They do fuck all.
What is
sloth?
Their predator? They can't have any.
Yeah, because they're not getting away. I mean, that's why they live in the trees and they get covered in moss and they just look like a branch.
Google autofill is, why are sloths so slow?
That's a good question. I don't know.
They don't eat enough. That's it.
They don't have enough energy going through them.
Yeah, they just don't generate enough ATP.
Huh. That's a problem. They should not be around anymore. Did you know sloths used to be the biggest fucking thing ever, and they were semi-aquatic?
I didn't know that. I know there was gigantic sloths, but
yeah, a lot of bone fossil beds have been found on the coast.
Although I guess the benefit of being like so slow and lazy is you don't need much oxygen. So yeah, you can probably hold your breath for a while.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen that image of a giant sloth being like hunted? There's lots of very goofy images of giant ground sloths.
Kind of like the old medieval paintings of babies. They just don't know what it looks like, so they're doing their best guess.
Yeah. I think we've brought this up already. I think I've put that in a previous episode, a horrible drawing of like someone's description of an elephant, where it's like
Yes.
a dog with fangs. Did you know that when the Romans first encountered elephants, in like the second battle, they like completely figured out how to negate them, which is to cover a hog in pitch and light them on fire and have them run toward the elephants, and they freak out. They like hate it. They hate the sound of pigs screaming.
I mean, I'd hate that too.
Who the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Why didn't the Romans just do that all the time? That would be a huge like morale problem if there was just a screaming hog. Actually, yeah, that's true. Maybe you'd give your enemy some food.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think pitch is good for you, but
Yeah, that would be a very terrible way to cook a pork chop, is covering it in pitch and just like the top of it would sear.
although probably pretty comparable to microplastics, which is probably in all meat now.
Topical.
Oh, we're getting into it.
We're getting into it. I mean, I can't think of anything more topical on 2022 September 8th. Like, what big news really is there?
Right in the afternoon, around
on.
noon. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, what else has been going on? So you're almost out of school. So you're going to be a mechanical engineer? Am I right about that?
Yeah. Something like that.
So
it's a very general title.
You'll be whacking gears with a pipe wrench, right?
That's the dream, but you don't get to do that anymore. It's against code.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, how do you align gears?
You have to hire someone else to do it. It sucks.
What?
Yeah.
Who isn't a mechanical engineer?
Actually, things are so complex nowadays. The gears kind of align themselves.
Oh man, the machines are aligning themselves.
That's another topical issue. Automation.
Yeah, I mean that reminds
can
me
talk
of a
about
Star
WE.
Trek: The Next Generation episode.
Yeah.
Where
The brown
Picard,
notes.
the brown note aliens. Yes, where Picard encounters the brown note aliens, and they speak, and then we see his eye. We get close up of his face, and his eyes like widen, and everybody on the bridge has to pretend that they didn't just shit themselves.
Just a bead of sweat.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It might be called Booby Trap. I forget, but it's a Geordie episode. And yeah, the sentiment is like, oh man, machines are driving themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Humans don't have any place anymore.
Let's get back to the brown note episode. Would Data?
Okay, I was
would
trying
Data
to
be
get back to what
fine?
you were talking about. Yes, that's the thing. Is Data would be the intermediary. He would be the one to like, okay, so we're gonna teach you English Sign Language. It's ASL, right? American Sign Language.
Yeah. I think there's
Yeah.
also English and Japanese.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Is
Mhm.
Japanese like particularly different?
I mean,
There's Romanized like
Yeah.
versions of all that stuff.
I don't know. I
Cuneiforms.
can hear, so I don't really need it, but I could understand the need.
Yeah, screw learning that. I ain't touching sign language until I can't hear no more.
Mhm. Who do you think would be the first to admit that they've shit themselves? In the
Probably
next
Geordie.
generation.
I mean,
Yeah.
really? Or maybe somebody would go. Maybe it'd be like Worf would go to. Oh God, she's so shit. Marina Sirtis's character with my least favorite Star Trek: The Next Generation character.
Is she the empath or the doctor?
Counselor Troy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess she would probably know. Like at one point, everyone on the bridge just is like panic sets in. and she shits herself at the same time. So maybe she would like blow the whole thing open.
What if she senses like pleasure from someone like Riker?
Riker. Yeah, Riker is like sexually liberated. Maybe Riker, maybe he likes a bit of crinkling now and then. So.
Oh my god.
We don't know that. Let's get into crinkling. Let's really hone in on that.
I don't have anything crinkly around my desk. I have like a letter here.
Oh, I have saran wrap. What is like the actual cellophane, right?
Yeah.
That's the compound.
What was it before? It was something like incredibly toxic before, right?
Oh, really? And they're using it as like a food wrapper?
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredibly useful. If it poisoned me like a little bit, then maybe it'd be worth it. Keep the fruit flies off it. I mean, if the fruit flies just died immediately after contacting it, that would be like a win-win. Yeah, I have no idea what it was before.
Honestly, I didn't even put this together, but cellophane is regenerated cellulose. I don't see...
Really?
I can't believe I didn't know that, considering it's right there in the name.
Yeah, so it's made from wood?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like a petroleum product, like plastic.
Well, I think that's what it used to be, and then it poisoned people.
Really? It's wood? You've opened my
Yeah.
eyes. I mean, when you really think about it, it kind of just feels like gelatin. Like it I can see it being organic, I guess.
It's just material.
Even though plastic, I guess, is organic because it's carbon. It was at one point krill or something.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we should start eating krill. I feel like that would solve world hunger if we just started eating krill.
How do you catch them, though? Like, how big is one krill?
Big net. You get yourself a
Would it have to be...
you get yourself a big net, and or you could just like grow baleen and eat them like a whale.
I guess so, like hair-like teeth.
Yeah. Did you know there's little holes like in whale skulls that like connect the nerve endings to the baleen?
Interesting. I had no idea. So, like, if I pulled one out, it would like be extremely painful.
Yeah, they used to be teeth.
Huh.
The toothed whales and the baleen whales they obviously share a common ancestor. I'm going to put a picture on the screen right now, but you should look up what the common ancestor for all whales was. It's basically like a giant rat. Just one day decided to go in the ocean, and then it became fucking that.
There was only one of them, too. Just one guy.
Yeah, not a breeding pair like that evolution requires, or like a group of breeding pairs. It was one guy who was like, hey, wait a second. There's a niche that fish aren't doing.
Speaking of
they would have
niche,
barely been whales for like a very long time because you need to be like big to eat krill. So what the hell were they doing?
Good point. I mean, like, how do you even figure out that that's what I'm gonna eat? This thing that I can't see.
Like, where does baleen come from? Because like you can't really start evolving it until like you're effectively using your teeth for that. So, like,
was
maybe
there
was
some
just
use
whales
for really thin teeth?
I think I saw a thing on it. I think for like scavenging on like the sea floor, they'd like run their shitty gnarly teeth in the sand.
Okay. And then they get thinner and thinner.
Yeah, yeah, they filed them off, and that's how evolution works.
Yeah, the giraffe wants the leaves at the top of the tree, so he stretches his neck.
Yeah, they weren't co-evolving with trees.
Speaking of stretching long members, we could talk about jelking.
Yeah, we could talk about gooning. We could talk about jerking off.
We could talk about
how
crooning.
Crooning is way different than gooning. So what's your gooning schedule?
None.
Like?
I don't
None
goon.
at all? You're a no fap?
Well, no, I have sex. I get laid.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's a way to do it.
I mean, it's probably, it's what God intended.
Yeah. I mean, he intended her to get like pregnant every single time he did it. So really, it's an affront to God, and Gooning is actually, I think he prefers that.
I don't know. There's some passages in the Bible about spilling seed. And how it's,
Yeah, you're not supposed to do it.
What else am I supposed to put
What if I collect it? What if I capture it? If
like
you
a
do the
vacuum, you
cum
suck
jar-
it up?
Yeah. I like, there's lots, obviously lots of jokes about putting your cock in a vacuum and like jerking off that way. I do not think that would work. It's like like when, you're like a 9-year-old and you hear about masturbation, like, and you don't know how to do it, you just like slap your cock back and forth or something. Like, that's what a vacuum cleaner would be doing.
Yeah, it'd just give you a giant hickey.
Yeah. Yeah, oh my god. If it was like a good enough vacuum, it would like explode the head of your member.
I mean,
that
like,
would be no good.
I imagine that'd be a little pleasurable to have like blood swell in, but I don't know. I think it's more so, it's like putting the cart before the horse, where a member gets hard with blood to be pleasured, not as like a pleasurable thing in of itself. But speaking of pleasurable events happened in recent shoot, how do I segue?
September 8th?
On September 8th, what pleasurable
September
events? Got the Wikipedia article for September 8th.
Well, what's exactly 9 months from September?
Um,
I'm not even going to do the math. I'm just going to let you do it.
June?
All right.
We'll
So
say
everyone
June.
born in June was the result of a pleasurable September 8th evening
Possibly.
between a mommy and a daddy who loved each other very much.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about children?
My girlfriend definitely wants children. I'm personally like, I want to grow up first. I'm definitely not ready nor mature enough to have kids.
Yeah. We probably fuck them up somehow.
Yeah. Because my girlfriend comes from a family where basically everyone in her family had children very young. Like, her mother was a teen parent, and yeah,
Wow.
It really messes people up.
Yeah, it's not great. Like people understand that fucking like your dog like knows what you're thinking by looking at your face. Like, imagine what just being like stressed the fuck out all the time would do to like an infant.
And I'm sure,
Yeah.
like, especially as they get older, the children kind of know that like they're the ones causing a lot of stress too, which is not good. Yeah, I just have too short a fuse right now to have kids.
Yeah, you think you'd like beat them?
I wouldn't beat them, but I definitely like, I'd get mad. Like, I get mad at the cats that I have. I don't like
throw them against the wall and their
no,
spines.
I don't abuse the cats. I definitely do.
You're not violent.
I'll chase them when I want them to go away, and they go, "What the fuck?" and they'll like run away. But
Yeah.
sometimes I'll like hold them and squish them, but cats like that. So
yeah, our neither Sheridan or I want a child. I mean, sometimes she's on like infant TikTok and goes like, "Oh, I want," and then thinks about it for 1 second. It's like, oh, wait a minute, that would be like kind of life ruining at the moment.
I think you need to stipulate. I think there are multiple infant TikToks, one for infants and one about infants.
Yeah, that's true.
Another topical issue is children and they phones.
It's true. Children be on their phones. They not looking at the grass. They not looking at the dog. They looking at their phone, and they playing Fortnite. Can you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
Somebody's grinding metal, probably like an angle grinder or something.
Where are you living? In an apartment, or is it
Yes.
construction? Oh, okay.
Nah, I mean, there's no like buildings going up. It's probably just somebody
In the
I
street,
mean,
grinding like a boot off their car.
on a Thursday. Yeah.
Someone
in the
stealing a
afternoon.
bike.
In the afternoon of Thursday, September the 8th, 2022. I mean, the worst thing going on right now is that guy grinding some metal. I mean, is he going to pick up those shavings, or are they just going to go into the environment?
I think like metal is a pretty neutral thing, right? It's not going to leach anything.
I suppose. Maybe he's got that Bugatti Aerolith that had a chassis made of magnesium, and he's fucking putting that into the soil.
I'm pretty sure magnesium is. No, I'm thinking manganese. I think is
Yeah,
good for soil.
it's a macronutrient. Yeah, I think magnesium just blows up, but I could be wrong.
Speaking of blowing up, when you put an egg in a microwave, when you put your cock in a microwave, it blows up.
It's a well-known fact.
The first to discover that was Percy Spencer.
Yeah.
He had the chocolate bar, the famous chocolate bar melting in the pocket. He died today on September 8th, 1970.
What?
Though. Yeah.
Oh.
That's probably got to be like the most influential person to die on September 8th.
Definitely the biggest death on this date. Probably is. I mean, there was a horrible plane crash at John F. Kennedy Airport on this day.
Recently?
I think like I think like 100 or something people died.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's get into gooning. Let's get into crooning. Let's get into aviation disasters.
Well, you told me just before we started recording that you've been getting into planes.
Yeah, I've been getting into planes. I've been getting into ailerons. I've been getting into flaps. I've been getting into rudders. I've been getting into elevators. I've been getting into dihedral and anhedral wing positions. I've been getting into fucking center of lift, center of mass, center of thrust. I've been getting into fucking all that stuff. But,
he's got the vocabulary, like the index open in his textbook.
No, that was from memory. That's how I learn things. I go on Wikipedia and I just like memorize them, and then it seems like I know what I'm talking about.
I mean, that's all you got to do.
Yeah, that's all pilots know, right? Is they learn those terms and then they give you a plane.
Being a pilot's just like driving a car, but with a third dimension.
That's true. That's how easy it is. Although I guess that would multiply the difficulty. That would cube it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense. You gotta like learn that.
Mm-hmm. Poor Percy Spencer, though. You know, like he definitely changed the world. Like he changed the leftovers game, for sure. He didn't make them better, but he made them more convenient, for sure.
Microwaves. Like
microwaving leftovers, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Diminished quality for increased quantity.
It's kind of interesting that, like, people heard, like, microwave radiation, and then, like, okay, a microwave, and they called them a nuke, like nuking your food. And it's, like, a completely different phenomenon. It's more like a wavelength.
Yeah, like,
sort of
looking at someone or, like, turning on a flashlight, I'm not nuking them.
Yeah, it's radiation in the way that like heat is radiation. It's radiating, but it's not like, there aren't fissile materials or anything.
No beta or alpha particles, no sigma particles.
No ligma particles. I mean, just another example of the dumb masses, because they on their phone all the time and not looking in Encyclopedia Britannica.
So radiation from the phone too, the Bluetooth and the 5G.
It's true. It's melting their brains. I mean, have there been studies like just having a phone like Wi-Fi all the time? Isn't it like less radiation than sunlight or something? Like it's completely benign.
I'd imagine so, because honestly, like living in a stone or brick house, you get alpha and beta decay from the stone.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Or is that concrete? I've heard that concrete is slightly radioactive.
Probably concrete's worse, but basically any heavy material.
Because I was actually watching a mining series where a guy was in like an abandoned mine, and he was getting like lower than normal background radiation. I forget which measurement he was using, but if 24 of something per second is regular background, he was getting like 3.
Oh, wow.
In a rock.
Well, it could also, yeah.
So it must be certain types of stone, I suppose.
Yeah, especially like mined stone is probably going to have like connection to certain supply chain stuff too. And who knows what sort of additives they added to old concrete and paint.
yeah. There's got to be like radium in concrete. We'll make buildings glow. We won't need street lights anymore. You just put radium in the sidewalks.
I mean, yeah, they used to
someone has to have done that.
They used to toss needles and garbage into mattresses, so we've got it pretty okay, all things considered.
Yeah, we're learning. I mean, people would they'd put like radium in their water in like a water cooler because they thought it would like make the water healthier or something. Was that before or after like Marie Curie got super cancer and like turned inside out from all her radiation exposure?
Mega cancer.
Probably before.
I mean, some people are being driven to such like individualistic degrees that they're like, they think they're smarter than everyone else, so they throw essential oils up their ass or something.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big problem these days.
Everyone thinks they can just figure out the cheat codes.
Yeah. What I thought of something. Oh, we could talk about the Demon Core. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, that's a fun one.
I'm sure you're aware of the Demon Core.
Yeah, playing with literal demonic energy with a screwdriver.
Yeah. Nearly achieving supercriticality with like millimeters of difference. Yeah.
Where did it take place? Because that place could just be a crater if they...
a research facility.
Yeah, Los Alamos.
Damn, isn't that where they did all the nuke stuff?
Mm-hmm. Part of the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, that place is crazy. Like, it was like they built a city there, and you weren't allowed to like, talk to anyone outside it. It was like secret shit going on.
I guess microwaves were also part of the Cold War technology boom. Or a little bit before, around World War II, but yeah.
We're going to point a microwave at Stalin, and his eyes will pop out. Hey, Khrushchev died. Khrushchev died recently.
Oh.
Nikita.
I didn't... Oh, yeah, okay, I remember seeing that, yeah.
The guy with the port wine stain on his forehead. Yeah. That's pretty great. That's a pretty significant death. Probably the most significant death, in recent days.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, he collapsed the Soviet Union.
Yeah, especially for like a leader of a, Eastern, at least from us, area. Country.
Yeah, Eastern from the death of a leader from a country east of the Americas. That's probably the most significant death recently. But yeah, Gooning, the Demon Core.
Gooning the Demon Core. That's what they did.
Yeah, it involved a screwdriver. It was messy. Let me tell you. Apparently, people see a blue light when supercriticality happens. Like, it wasn't... You can't pick that up on a camera, apparently.
Is it something happening to the rods and cones of the eye, or is it like the air itself? I
don't know. It might be like a brain thing. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I mean, cameras can see stuff that we can't. Can't, like, iPhone cameras see, like, infrared or something?
Yeah, if you, I think if you take, like, a filter off of your camera, it becomes kind of infrared.
Ooh.
Or no, I think you can also, like, I remember there's, this is back in the old iPod days, but you could, like, put tape over your camera and then put Sharpie over that, And that does something. I don't know what it does, but it does something.
It would like polarize it or something.
I don't know. I feel like maybe you just make it dark.
It turned off your camera. That's a pretty good effect. I mean, shit. You could probably skip the tape and just apply Sharpie directly to the lens.
Yeah.
I have got to get a new phone. My phone is like, the back is falling off, like the glass is coming off, and it gets really hot. Like when I was FaceTiming Sheridan, it was getting really hot, so I put an ice cube on the back and it like melted. It was like fucked up, but it cooled it down. I mean, hey, if the problem is it's getting too hot, just cool it down.
I mean, yeah, that's just solving the problem.
Yeah, I mean, if you know, we use coolant on engines and stuff, that doesn't mean it's not working right. Hey, we could talk about Artemis. That's something interesting that's going on. It got scrubbed again, so it won't launch until like mid-October. But we're going back to the moon.
I haven't actually been following up. So, is it a manned mission?
No, the first one will be an unmanned flyby, just to make sure all the systems are working. And then Artemis 2 will be a manned flyby, and then Artemis 3 will be a manned lunar landing in order to establish a moon base. Which, I mean, once we're on the moon, you know, you don't have to build every rocket to be able to cut through the soupy Earth atmosphere. You can just build them in space.
That is clever. Yeah.
It'll make everything way more efficient. It's like the first step toward a pan solar system humanity.
We should honestly skip out the middleman here and just build a space elevator connected to the moon.
Yeah. I mean, I read on Reddit, so I don't know how, like r/futurology, but they've created nanotubes that are like really strong. So maybe we could make a space bridge finally, or space tether.
I feel like
probably not.
Either I feel like it would just be a dangling rope that if it just swings by, you can quickly catch and climb.
Yeah, you can climb 100 kilometers up to the or no, how far? God, not just like out of the atmosphere, but to the moon. A distance where you could fit every single planet in between and still have room.
Well, I mean, once you get out of the atmosphere, it's a lot easier to climb. The further away you get.
Yeah, you could just like pull, and then there'd be no drag, and you would just keep heading up. I mean, that's why we're making them. So yeah, you're right. We should skip Artemis. We should just go straight to space tethers. But yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. They're using like on the main thruster, the first stage. I think like two of the 4 rockets that aren't the solid fuel boosters are like ripped off of the space shuttle. They're like reusing parts.
Yeah, and you've been playing a Kerbal Space Program, so this is all like stuff you have a pretty good understanding of, I'd imagine. Yeah,
I know everything about rocketry. I think I could.
I've read the Wikipedia page.
Mission, actually, yeah, rocket science.
This isn't
rocket surgery.
Rocket surgery.
Yeah. So what have you been like hyper focusing on?
Honestly, I've been kind of living the Zoomer dream of just spacing out and not having time for any hobbies.
Is that a Zoomer dream?
No, it's a nightmare. I've been playing a lot of modded Minecraft, I guess. That's something.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I got my girlfriend indoctrinated into the modded Minecraft. She's a big fan of the backpack mods, though, because when you play Minecraft, and especially modded Minecraft, you get a lot of items, a lot of knickknacks that your inventory
doing, like,
swells up.
Tech it? Or are you doing like a mod pack, or just
yeah,
like a Factorio style mod pack, or like a extra content mod pack?
I like that you brought up Tech It as like an ancient mod pack nowadays, because
are they
the
not
kids these days? No, Well, I mean, like, there's probably Tekkit Reborn. Like, all those old mods now, like, kind of still exist, but they all have, like, Rebirth, Reborn, retooled after
What
them.
about Feed the Beast? Is that
That's
still a
still
thing?
around, yeah. That's probably, like,
Why was
taken
it
over.
called that?
Um,
What
I
does that have to
assume
do?
the Beast is a gaming addiction.
Horrible, crippling gaming addiction.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably shouldn't be feeding that then.
Today is
What are
also
you-
World
what are you
Physical
addicted
Therapy
to?
Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Speaking of therapy, I'm addicted to right now. Like, I'm not feeding any addictions. I might have addictions that I don't know about, and I'm just not feeding. But
You're just
like, I could
going
be a
straight edge?
crippled gambling addict if I just start gambling.
I don't know. I don't think I have it in me. I hate spending money so much that, like, losing it, well, I don't know. I don't think it would be enough of, like, a mental... It wouldn't be enough serotonin to offset the anti-serotonin from seeing money number go down.
I suppose I did do a little bit of day trading, but that was like
Really?
a year ago. Yeah.
Robinhood? You're getting into...
No,
did you
Quest
short...
Trade.
Did you short any GameStop stock?
Honestly, like,
That was a big
it's
story.
hard to believe, but I was looking at GameStop stock before they decided to pump it. But I read, like, there's kind of like a news ticker on
Uh-huh.
the app I was using, and the guy that read it was trying to screw over to begin with, like, that they wanted, like, because he had a bunch of shorts in GameStop. He wrote an article that was like, oh, GameStop's gonna crash, it's gonna go down, because he wanted it to, because he was shorting it. And so I was like, oh, it's gonna go down, I shouldn't buy it. Now I'm a sheeple, and the Sigmas.
You could have made
trim.
like 50 grand.
Well, I could have made like $200. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I didn't have enough money to throw around, because it
Oh,
only went
okay.
up like probably 100% or something like that. Or
Wow.
I guess it went up pretty high.
Well, I think it went up really high. There was a lot of people. I mean, it's funny, like, you know, the whole thing is like you gotta not sell or else like it all falls apart. But like if I could press a button and make 50 grand at the expense of making people on the internet angry, I would press that fucking button like in 1 second. There's no way I'd hold on to it just for like the principle.
As long as no one knows you press the button, or else you're gonna get murdered.
Yeah, someone will send a Bitcoin hitman.
I never got into crypto. I never, like, it was too risky, and I felt I just missed out.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to realize it's like really volatile. I mean, NFTs in the last year have like come into being a thing and then fallen apart since the last podcast.
Yeah, actually. Like, they were, like, kind of new, and some people were, like, amping them up as the next big thing, and now they're just, like,
Beeple
just another internet thing.
got someone to buy it for a crazy amount so that everyone would think that NFTs are worth a lot, and it like completely worked. It's just all one big scam.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when capitalism goes on for a really long time, and there's 8 billion people in the world, it just doesn't seem like it's gonna go very well.
If everyone in the world gave me $1, I'd be a billionaire.
It's true. You'd be an 8 billionaire. That's true. They should just do that to me.
Speaking of $1, back to Percy Spencer.
Okay.
For inventing the microwave, the company that he made it for, Raytheon, which they make like
What?
military stuff still.
And they make headphones?
No, that's
Raycon.
Raycon. This is Raytheon.
They make overpriced headphones.
Anyway, for inventing
Ridge
the
Wallet?
microwave,
He made this for Ridge Wallet?
he was given no royalties, but he was paid a one-time gratuity of $2.
What? For inventing the microwave?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. That's like What happens if you live in the Soviet Union?
Let's look at an inflation calculator. How much is $2 today?
The guy
Might
who
be
invented... yeah, maybe it was like thousands. Who knows?
This is in the 30s.
The guy who invented the AK-47 like made no money from it and like lived on a government pension until he died. Like he didn't just create the most widely used rifle in the world.
According to inflation calculator, that $2 in the 1930s would be a crisp $30 today.
Oh, mama.
Oh,
He could have bought himself like a steak or something.
Yeah, eye of round for sure. Speaking of inflation, Bank of Canada, I think, just did another inflation hike. My mortgage is not looking good.
Yeah, why even bother making money? Like, fuck, if it's just gonna all fall apart. Maybe we should buy gold. Gold's always going up.
Honestly, it probably will shoot up in the next little while here.
Yeah, people trying to do that because there's an economic collapse coming. Why are we talking so much about economics? We should be talking about...
Yeah, my eyes are rolling back in my head and I'm drooling.
It's happening again. We should talk about gooning.
What's the etymology of gooning?
Because you, I looked it up on Urban Dictionary. It's where you, like, are, like, staring slack-jawed at your screen, like, at the porn. Like, looking like a goon. I don't know who came up with it, but...
Goon comes from
image.
goonie, which means booby?
What? Is that what was happening in that movie?
Goon, a foolish, silly, or eccentric person.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so... Did you, were you like a lotion guy, or would you just fucking raw
I was
dog
just
it?
raw. I was just harsh,
God.
calloused skin.
Yeah, you have a giant cylindrical callus around your entire cock.
I had death grip syndrome.
Oh my god, what's that?
It's
the band?
it's when you masturbate and you're masturbate either with a frequency or with a grip strength, a gorilla grip strength, enough to desensitize your penis.
Oh.
Both lessening the pleasure you get from jerking off, which causes you then to grip harder, or making sex unenjoyable because the gorilla grip is not ubiquitous.
Yeah, that's. Desensitization is. You just gotta not jerk off for a while. Does it come back, or are, like, the nerve endings permanently destroyed?
I don't know. I'm not a urologist.
A penisologist.
Myologist.
Holy God! What? Do you have? Are you circumcised?
I am. I'm just willingly admitting that to the wide net.
I am as well.
They're gonna
both
know
of us
where
had
we...
our penises mutilated as children.
I kind of prefer the aesthetic and the feel.
Oh yeah, it looks way better.
Yeah.
But apparently, it destroys nerve endings, and it's not quite as good. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, but I really, why care
better,
so much?
I'd be even more like a goblin.
Exactly, right? Like
am.
more time to enjoy a delicious bowl of cornflakes.
A delicious bowl of muesli.
Speaking of muesli. Is there anything happening today? We should talk about some current events. We like to look back in this podcast, but sometimes it's important to look forward.
It's important to realize the world that you live in, the current climate.
I don't think there's anything happening today.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through Twitter right now. I don't see any. I don't see anything.
I'm on a Wikipedia, September 8th, the article for September 8th, and I'm looking under notable births, and they don't have anything for today.
Really? No one notable has been born. If anyone listening right now was born on September 8th, That's a dig against you. You have to.
No,
do
like
something.
there are in the past, but I'm talking about today, like 2022. There are no notable
Oh.
births.
We wouldn't know. Yeah, that's the joke. You ruined it. You're right. You're right. What
I feel
the
like
fuck?
there's, I don't know, celebrities are getting younger and younger. Like one of the kids,
That's true because of their phones.
one of the kids in Stranger Things was born 2002. Gatton Martarazzo played Dustin.
I mean, yeah, they're adults now. People born in 2002. They're almost like 20. They're 20 years old now.
Happy birthday to Gatton. Also, happy birthday. I think I saw Bernie Sanders
Oh my god, he was born
today.
in September. We must end the oppression of the bedtime.
Yeah, no,
That
he
was
was
what he
born
was like when
today,
he was a
September
baby.
8th, 1941.
That was infant Bernie.
The top 1% is hogging all the titty.
We should share all the blocks, all the Duplo blocks. I only have one Duplo block.
The right breast is not as giving as the left breast.
It's true. We all know it. He's gonna die soon, probably.
Yeah, how old's this man?
It's pretty fucking old.
Let's see.
I mean, did you see that picture of him sitting in the chair?
Is that the mittens one? Are you talking about? Or?
Yeah.
That's a
look-
deep dig. Are we back in like 2016?
Yeah. I mean, he looks pretty old in that picture.
He is 81.
Oh, okay. That's not as old as I thought.
Yeah.
He could totally be president of the United States of America, a country I don't live in. It is pretty weird how like obsessed Canadians are with American politics.
Well, our politics are so boring.
I mean, yeah.
Either you don't care or you want to kill the prime minister.
I mean, maybe it's just because we, we're on the West Coast, and we're like a quarter of Canada's population instead of like almost all of it is all in Toronto.
Toronto.
Hey, remember that movie that came out called The Man from Toronto, and everyone in it keeps saying Toronto, and then people were like, "Hey, that's not really how you say it," and then people acted like it was like an offensive thing, like, "Oh my god, I didn't mean," like all the actors thought it was like people were personally offended at it. It's just like, no, it's just funny. You're saying it wrong.
Toronto.
I am the man from Toronto. It's not really how people say it from there, but whatever. Americans don't know. I heard someone say Ottawa.
That's a new one. I've never heard that.
I mean, yeah, I think they were British, so can't really fault them. Any interesting things happen with the British recently?
Yeah, let's pull up their Wikipedia page. I honestly, like,
Britain?
they had Brexit, and that just, like, everyone's forgotten about it.
Yeah, did that even go through? Did they all just forget? Well, Boris resigned. That's pretty big news.
I guess
Right?
so. I mean,
I think that's probably the biggest. Hold the fort. The Queen died.
do you think she went heaven or hell? What do you think?
Hell.